Hey folks, myself and Indigo have just been hanging out here discussing the importance of having harmonious relationships and what it really takes, what we really have to understand and believe to have harmonious relationships. And a few of the things we come up with, thought we'd just share them with you all. Didn't we, Indigo? Yeah. And the first thing was that, and it's a belief that I have fostered within myself, is the belief that everyone is doing the best that they can with the resources that they have available. So this is a belief that I have, and it's something that has taken any judgment of others or anger towards others, or thinking other people or have done wrong by me or anything, by just realizing that everyone's doing the best they can with the resource they have available. Once we realize that, it takes any kind of negative charge out of any feeling we might have to another person. And it might be, you might think, well, that's not true. But when you really think about it, it actually is true, And in a short video, I'll kind of talk about it, get it encapsulated as much as possible. But if we can think back to maybe a time when we were, I don't know, 10 years old or something, and maybe a mistake that we made, we were always really doing the best we could with the resource we had available. Even if we were emotionally immature at that time and did silly things, played silly tricks, that was still the best we could do with the maturity that we had. And it's the same with all of us, depending. Sometimes emotional maturity, we don't actually mature past the age of 10. Sometimes we have traumas and things in our life, and we find adults, people who are 30, 40, 50 years old and plus, who haven't actually emotionally matured, and they're still playing out those little dramas that they might have been playing out when they were 10 years old or something. So, and if we look back at a person's life, we can see that the reason why they are a certain way, and it really is that they are doing the best they can with the resources they have available. And if this camera's shaking a bit, it's because Indigo is kicking and punching at the minute, and we're doing the best we can with the resources we have available right now. So the second thing was the understanding that every single one of us has a different map of reality, a different model of the world, whatever you want to call it. We all see the world slightly differently. We all live in our own individual universes, because not everybody sees everything the same way that each one of us sees it. We all have a unique viewpoint of reality. And just having that understanding, sometimes we think, how could that person have done that? Why did they do that? Just they have a different map of reality. They just see things differently. And that's another thing. People just see things differently. People have different values. People hold different things important in their life. So what we find to be really, really important, another person won't find to be so important. And sometimes we think, why doesn't that person find that important? It's just not one of their values. It's just not how they have been wired, been programmed throughout their lives. And so it's having that understanding of others, and it really, a lot of it comes down to understanding, and just understanding that people have different values. People have different viewpoints of reality, different models of the world. And we don't have to agree with other people's values. We don't have to agree with other people's models of the world, or maps of reality, or points of view about what is. But to be able to at least respect that is their viewpoint, to be able to respect the model of the world, to be able to maybe appreciate that, okay, that's where they're coming from based on all these events that have happened to them, and maybe the culture they were brought up in, and various things like that. To be able to see that and go, okay, well, that's why it is. Once we have some understanding, then again, that takes away negative charge we might have towards another person. The third thing in creating harmonious relationships is assumptions. And it's one of the biggest things, especially with social media these days, Facebook, things like that. The amount of times I've heard, oh, such and such really upset with you because you defriended them. Like, what? I didn't defriend them. That's ridiculous, you know. But something has happened. Once I changed my regular profile into a Facebook page, so suddenly all these people thought that I'd defriended them. I just changed my profile into a page, so people made an assumption that I had defriended them. And you know, you see things like that all the time. So one of the big misunderstandings of people is complete assumption. They assume that another person thinks something about them or feels a certain way about them or has done something against them. And 99% of the time, it's just pure assumption and it has no basis in reality. An assumption can really, you know, they call it the mother of all feck-ups, right? Assumption is the mother of all feck-ups. And yeah, absolutely it is, you know, so just don't assume. If we have a problem with somebody else, maybe just don't assume that that it is the way it is. So, you know, one of the things, just take assumption out of your life. Stop assuming things. Indigo, Indigo. There we go. Okay, we're gonna wrap this one up because Indigo wants to go inside. It's starting to get dark. But those are the three things, you know, and it just comes to understanding. Don't make assumptions. That's one of them. The other one is appreciate or respect other people's model of the world, even though it's not yours, their values, etc. And then the very first one was, Indigo, what was the first one? You've got to rewind it back and see it. Okay, we got to go. Hope that's made some sense to you. Take care. See you in the next one. This has been a very important production from myself and Indigo the Phoenix. Check you next time.